Well, guys, you got to ask yourself a question looking at these two rigs here. Did we just ruin two trucks? Or did we potentially set the stage for one awesome build?
Two wrongs make a right.
Well, two wrongs don't make a right. But two rights made an airplane. Couple of rules for opening your eyes. Don't look right into the torch when you're cutting the bolt off. Are you looking ahead to see what we got to take off next, Caitlin?
No. It's funny.
You pulled the trigger with the universal joint on there, didn't you?
Whee!
Also, don't stare directly at the sun.
They're not an 18, they're smaller than that.
They in fact are, sir, in 18.
It's a real tough break situation.
Put your safety squints on.
Swing and a miss. All right, guys. Turns out it's a piece of rusty junk. You guys ever buy yourself a set of vice grips and get a free truck with it? I did. Welcome back to Crossthread Garage and Salvage. This week we tear apart a perfectly good F-350. Well, actually it wasn't perfectly good. We definitely didn't break any bolts off. We definitely didn't have to get the torch out. We definitely didn't find out that our rear brakes are not even connected. But we did find a brand new set of vice grips. So, you know, things are looking up here at Crossthread Garage. And we definitely didn't ruin anything.
That just rip it apart.
I know, but you don't need to like tear it up, rip it apart. Just rip it apart. It can all go back if we had to sell it tomorrow.
Probably.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. And listen, if I got to keep telling you, I'll do it, but let your grandma know what's going on over here. I'm sure she'd love to watch our episodes on the YouTubes.
If you look at it,
Imagine what it would feel like to lick it.
You feel like what it would lick.
You know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Your tongue is an amazing thing. Then don't lick that truck. All right, let's start by getting the roof off the old pony shed here.
Pony shed?
Yeah. That's where the horses are stored. Horsepower pony shed. What do you got over there? We need to get hinges and gas struts off of there. This would be where you look at it and go, I think I need a 13 millimeter, Dad. What do you need?
Screwdriver.
Since you took my screwdriver, I'll just go ahead and get another screwdriver.
Whoa!
Oh! Good catch, Steve. Good catch.
That was almost my head.
Don't take the gas struts off unless you're ready to grab it. Oof. Can you find it?
No.
Yeah. Well, good news is the fender's coming off, so we'll find it eventually.
I see it. It's just stuck.
Let's actually leave that on there.
I got a mosquito bite at the bottom of my foot.
Let's leave that on there until we get these loose now that I
But that's not on
see
there.
what I did there. It's on there. Are you... What? Don't scratch your dirty athlete's feet with the screwdriver. 10 millimeter, by the way. Only thing you need on a Ford truck is a 10 millimeter. You don't need the tire change impact driver.
Go big or go home. Guess I'm going home. Perfect.
Now we just got to figure out how to contain all the horsepower since we took the roof off there. We're going to leave the cab on so we can still drive this and service it. We need to get the fenders and the front clip and everything off. I know that you can take the cab and the front clip off together, but I don't want to take the core support out and I don't have a way to lift it. So we're peeling this thing like an orange, one part at a time. Oh, and turns out we didn't need to take the gas struts off to get the hood off. This is called learning by failing. That's really the Crossthread way.
Yeah.
Go ahead and snag that grill off of there. I'll start pulling headlights.
How do you want me to get this off?
And once we get them off, we'll start taking these fenders. I mean, that's one way to start.
I didn't actually think it would come off. That's a road hazard.
20 bucks on eBay. You guys check it out. I'll put a link in the description. All right, while Caitlin destroys the air conditioning condenser there, I think there's 2 bolts on this side, 2 bolts on that side, and this whole outer core with the headlight assembly and everything, I think will pop out of there. It looks like. So we're gonna snag these 2, Caitlin's gonna grab the other two on the other side that are super rusty. There's a bunch of rusty stuff on this truck because it's a Northern Ohio truck. So we're gonna be using some skeet freezing penetrating lubricant from our friends at, nope, not skirt. Skeet. From our friends over at Sweet Patina. It is a, just like it says, freezing penetrating lubricant. So I use this off camera. Care to share with the rest of the class? Yes. I use this off camera on my last project with the 47 Chevy. If you guys saw the last episode where we were doing the hood and the radiator, the injection pump was leaking really bad.
There's that fuel leak I always talk about on this thing.
Caitlin was not available, so I was just out here tooling around, figured I'd take a look at it. Well, I had been waiting 3 years to fix that leaking injection pump, and turns out I could have done it in 45 minutes. I thought it was going to be, I was going to have to go deeper than I did, and that's really the way most things work out in the garage here. I put it off for 3 or 4 years, and then when I finally get to it, I think, why didn't I just do that earlier?
And of course, that reminds me of one of my favorite passages of Scripture, Proverbs chapter 6, verses 6 through 9. Go to the ant, O sluggard, observe her ways and be wise, which having no chief officer or ruler, prepares her food in the summer and gathers her provision in the harvest. How long will you lie down, O sluggard? When will you arise from your sleep?
Anyhow, we're not going to wait on this, are we, Caitlin?
No.
We're going to get this thing towed down. These screws are so rusty that they're getting stuck in the socket. So we love working on rusty old junk.
No.
If you're new to the channel or you're just picking up here, we're going to be swapping Caitlin's 41 Ford onto the chassis of this F-350 here. Huh?
I can't get it on. It won't go on.
Oh, it's too far down there?
Yes. See, move.
Well, we'll work on that. Easy access. Now, with an extension, you can get right through there to that. Get an extension. Ooh, fiberglass. That's fun to breathe. Okay, now grab the other one. Maybe without dropping the drill next time.
Still works.
What did you... Show me what you did.
I did.
Don't do it again.
I spun it.
You pulled the trigger with a universal joint on there, didn't you?
Whee!
No.
I'm trying this at home, folks.
This is not a how-to. This is just a how we did. All right, Caitlin,
What?
while I get this out, go ahead and get some Ziploc baggies and start putting everything in Ziploc baggies.
Why isn't this going in?
Because it's a gas strut. It's designed to be pushed out.
But
You don't have enough... Oh my God.
stop dropping
You
the
don't have
drill.
enough torque.
Look at that bird up there.
I think that's an eagle.
No.
Turkey buzzard.
Hey.
Do you know what the sound a turkey buzzard makes?
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
Goes. Learn that in Hunter's Education. Are you looking ahead to see what we got to take off next, Caitlin?
No. Something with this.
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. It's connected to this.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Oh, you're talking about those?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are connected. Kaylin, what do we got to do to get that bumper off of there?
We could run into something really hard. We could tie it to something and drive away really fast.
What about just a mechanical separation where we take some bolts out?
I haven't gotten that far in my inspection yet.
Oh, hey, good news, guys. It's still leaking. So I think these have to come out.
Why would those have to come out?
All right, so these two bolts are the two on the outside of that hook, and they're tied in to this piece here, which is tied into the top of the bumper there. I think if we just take these two off, we can slide the whole bumper out and away. Take these two bolts out right here.
What are they? I say an 18.
They're not an 18, they're smaller than that.
They in fact are, sir, an 18. So
Wow.
yeah. Hey, let me get it. Let me get it. Let me get it. Don't smack my finger.
All right, guys. Turns out it's a piece of rusty junk. Kaylin, you gotta take that socket you just knocked this rusty head off here and get this one out.
Those
But you
8,
can't
right?
use the drill because the light's in the way.
Love working on rusty old junk.
You might actually need to get just a box end wrench to
Let's
run
do
that
that.
top one out. Love working on rusty old junk. So I know you guys might already be asking yourself, how do you expect to get all that inside?
Hey, that just popped right off.
Did you break it? Broke it off?
Yeah.
That's all right. How do you expect to get that inside of there? That's 25 inches across. We've already measured that. So this is the cabin front clip from the 41 Ford. Well, part of the answer, guys, is we don't need most of this.
Do we need that?
Nope, that's a trans cooler. I don't know why that's on a manual transmission truck.
Do we need this?
Nope, we're not going to put air conditioning in it. Do we need this? Maybe. I think that's a power steering cooler. We do need a radiator, but not that radiator. Really,
We need one the
This
size
is
of
gonna-
that one over there.
this is going to narrow down quite a bit once we get the front end off of all this. So
No, you have to take the things off that you said don't have to come off.
the things I said aren't attached. Turns out they are attached.
Yeah.
This is a real tough break situation. Okay, well, here's what here's my offer. Okay, final offer. Take it or leave it.
Leave it.
Let's just rip it apart. Hold on.
You said just rip it apart.
I know, but you don't need to like tear it up, rip it apart. Just rip it apart. Caitlin, quit putting your mouth on the camera. All right. Now, we need to snag the fenders off of there.
Could just rip them off. How are these even on here?
All right, guys, I know that some of this gets really weary and boring, so we're not going to do both sides. Caitlin's going to snag the bolts out of the top there. We're going to have to disconnect from the inner wheel well. And it looks like there's going to be a couple in here. One here, one down there. Don't drag it, don't drag it.
Not dragging, not dragging.
One fender down, one to go. We are, what are we like, 45 minutes into this?
That'd be the fastest we've ever done anything. Water break. There's stuff.
All right,
drawn up.
guys, 5 minutes later, we got the injector driver module exposed here. This is what actually drives the injectors. That was kind of self-explanatory. Caitlin's gonna throw out our Hercules tires.
Oh, Hercules, Hercules.
She's gonna roll them out here to me. We're gonna get this bed emptied. And then we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, not 4. That's a hole. And then probably 5, 6 up front to get out. We're gonna back this thing over to the flatbed trailer behind the jet skis there and spin it off.
Listen to.
Whoa. Boing.
Ford tow hitch with hardware. Oh, good bungee strap.
That's yucky.
Wow, looks like somebody started a fire in here. We got to get the wiring disconnected. So we got to pull taillights. So why don't you knock that out?
Marty! Knock what out?
Just knock out getting the taillights out. All right, we got to get wiring harnesses unplugged here for the bed, for the lights and hitch and everything. I'm gonna go get a screwdriver. What are you doing?
Said to knock them out.
Are you kidding me? Caitlin.
You literally told me to.
I said, take them out. Let's go ahead and knock that out, and then we'll move on. Okay, well, we have one good taillight for sale. If anybody's interested in a left taillight. No, look, they're just two bolts right here. Get those out. They're probably 8mm. All right, we got all the bed bolts out, and we definitely did not have to torch anything to get that out of there. Nope, those bolts all came out nice and easy. So what we're gonna do here is Caitlin's gonna move the jet skis and we're gonna back the truck next to the trailer, put the four-wheeler on the other side with the winch, and we're just gonna flip the bed over onto the trailer. Boy, I don't know what's left except to go driving. Whoop, third gear. You got to start in first, not third.
I wasn't first.
Okay. Woo, hey, easy, Speedy. Up, she does the one wheel peel. Well, now, that's not what we had planned. I'm feeling better about this because this frame, it looks like it's in pretty good shape. There's still paint
It looks
on that section of the frame.
a lot like the C10.
I was a little concerned looking underneath it and seeing some of this, but this is going to go away. Definitely need a few things like shock mount, and we need to get a brake system that works without vice gripping the rear brake line closed. We need some wheels with tread.
Well, at least we
tires
got
with
another
tread.
vice grip. Right?
True, we did get another vice grip.
I don't think I put this
Bonus.
in here.
Almost got his eyes open. Listen, a couple of rules for opening your eyes. Don't look right into the torch when you're cutting the bolt off. Also, don't stare directly at the sun.
Put your safety squints on.
Whenever you're grinding, use your safety squints.
Looks like a Cyclops.
No, you really got to be careful about staring at that sun. I'm not kidding. Well, we're wrapped up for the evening here. Got everything back inside because it looks like it's going to rain here tonight. So, Caitlin, grab the batteries off of the tool cart and grab the bags of hardware too. Is that one bag of hardware?
Yes.
I told you to keep it in bags and separated like we did with other, where you like label it. You just put it all in one bag?
Yes.
Awesome.
See.
Guess my instructions will have to be a little more careful here moving forward, huh?
Kind of ironic that's sitting next to the hammer that I smashed.
Yeah. All right, let's go get some ice cream. Well, we've had 5 or 6 good days in a row here, but it did rain last night. So it's been nice having some nice days here because, you know, never is nice here. Although I guess the downside is we've used up an entire year's worth of good days in 1 week. So I guess the next 7 months are going to be overcast and dreary. I'm not kidding here, guys. Cleveland, Ohio, check it out. Second most overcast city in the country. It's always cloudy here. In an unrelated statistic, Ohio kids are the most medicated for depression in all of the country. Correlation does not equal causation, except in cases where, obviously, it does.
You lost me at constipation.
I didn't say constipation, I said causation. But you know what cheers everybody up? Some cold starts. And that's what you're gonna get here. Because we've got to get the F-350 into the garage, which means the small block Chevy and the 5.9 Cummins are getting turned on.
Ugh.
Swing and a miss. Well, I may have fixed the fuel leak, but haven't fixed the oil leak on the old Cummins. Anywho, we're going to go ahead and spin this fender around. We're going to bring the old F-350 in here, straight in, and set this front clip right next to it, basically just to center the wheel well on that front axle. And then we'll have a better idea of where the firewall is actually going to land in relation to where the motor is. So we're just going to get in here and eyeball it, take a few more measurements, just enough to know whether or not we're on the right track, because I don't always know if I'm on the right track. I just kind of feel like maybe it'll work, or it won't. Cool thing about this is you'll find out when I do. Come on. All right, you want to grab the front, the back, the side, the inside, the outside.
Let's do both sides.
That's good. Guys, if you are interested in helping Caitlin fund this project right here, which, listen, I know, I'm not asking you to fund the whole thing. I'm still the sponsor of this whole thing. But a lot of you have been reaching out recently asking how you can help Caitlin with this build. And there's a couple ways to do that. First, go to crosssidegarage.com, buy yourself some merchandise. Hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, and all kinds of new designs up there. If you've looked before and didn't find something you like, look again. There's some new stuff there. Also on the website, and this is a result of several of you asking about how you could do this, is a Donate Now button, where you can just choose how much you want to give, and it goes right into Caitlin's pocket to fund this build on the 41 Ford. Lastly, and maybe thirdly, I don't know, I lost track of where we are, You can go check us out over on Facebook and Instagram. X-Thread Garage is the username both on Instagram and on Facebook. Make sure to give us a like, share, follow over there. We're publishing frequently on Instagram. If you want to follow what's going on throughout the week in the garage, that's the place to do it. And that's a great way to support us by growing our audience over there. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell so you get an alert every time a new video comes out. Hold it on the outsides so it doesn't fold. You can't pick it up in the middle. Ready? You gotta get it up high enough to get it over that board. We're gonna have to get a jack stand underneath it. Here. The most important thing when you're doing a cab swap is figuring out the center of your front clip wheel well and your firewall location. And that's what we're trying to do here. So we're looking at like a 29-inch wheel well opening, which puts the center right here in front of this old marker light mount. It's a little bit this way. Probably need to just bump this back a little bit to try and figure some stuff out, but I want you to see something here. Caitlin, do we have a string anywhere?
I don't know. I guess we're just gonna have to improvise and just grab some like hay bale string. Okay. Okay. Got the string. Ooh, tripped on the string. Got the string.
All right, we've got jack here, jack there, basically a level top of the fender line, and it's roughly squared this way. So what I want to do, nope, not that. I want to run it across the back of the radiator.
Okay.
So the portion of the radiator closest to the fan, that puts it right about there, which is right over the headlights. There's definitely not enough room for a radiator there. If we're not running the mechanical fan, let's go back in front of the serpentine belts. If we put it in front of the serpentine belts and we had to run a couple of big electric fans, that is much more room to work with, right?
Yeah.
So there's basically two holes right here that string is over, which means that we're pretty square to that truck. But behind here means we have 8 inches of depth to work with, and we've got 25 easily to work with, 25 wide. And this radiator is how deep?
How deep?
Woo, that's a deep radiator. I'm gonna say that is a 27.5, maybe 28 inch.
I say 29.
Rough estimate. I mean, I guess we'll have room for it because you can see.
No, they can't.
You can see that this is gonna have to come up anyways.
And it's not
To get
this was
over the
below
wheels.
bumper anyway, so there's gonna be a bumper there.
So basically, this
this
right
was
here, this spot right here, this is a better. This right here is the frame exit where the hooks were. Actually, Caitlin, let's measure this. How wide? Outside to outside, we have at 34 inches. What's the outside frame width here? Go to the outside of that frame right over there.
Hey, stop moving it.
Right there, 41 inches. So I
Well,
believe,
that's problematic.
yeah, this is what we were measuring before. 37 inches. So we've got 37 inches at the back of the cab on the frame. Let's go measure the original Ford frame. Just picture like 22.5-inch Alcoa super singles from a semi
Okay.
under that truck.
Oh, wait. Oh, okay.
a single tire that's almost as wide as that dually. This is 35, so this
like
is
literally
a
the
little bit
tires that
narrower.
are in there now?
No.
You said.
I said super singles from a semi, which is not what those dumb Chad wheels are. Ugh.
Not the Chad wheels then, but I want the other ones.
How wide is the back of this? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we can work with a 30.
Spider.
We can work with a 37-inch frame. No problem. What we'll have to do is end up widening this here. You know what we ought to do, Caitlin?
What?
Is we ought to measure.
This is for the baby motor.
I know these aren't the wheels we're going to use, but we should measure what the wheelbase is, width, and then see how wide the outside of our fender to the outside of our fender is.
What are we doing?
Give me the end of the tape. Down below. Down below. To the outside of the tire.
It's upside down, but okay.
Can you still read it?
Yeah.
What is it?
83.
So I'm going to hold this at the outside of, you need to bring the tape in. We're measuring the width of the outside of the fender to the outside of the fender. Go right in front of this, square it up.
71.
71? 71? Yes. Go, I mean, I know these wheels are like stupid offset. They look like they belong to a guy towing a speedboat to their lake with two $300 Yeti coolers, but go down here to the middle.
The Chad tire.
Go to the middle of the rubber.
Middle of the rubber? Like 72.
Okay, that's about right. So we're losing 5-6 inches off of each side by changing the wheels on the front end. That should be.
But then the back wheels are.
That should be fine. All right, so obviously we've got a few modifications with the frame being wider here, the wheels being a little bit differently offset, although we don't know what our final wheel package is going to look like. But we know that this hole here represents the front of the motor at the serpentine belt. So what we need to do, Caitlin, is measure back to the firewall, and we're at 30.5 inches to the front of the serpentine belt. Put it right here, put 30.5 inches here. Again, we're just eyeballing here, guys. That's at 30, we're gonna call that 31 inches. Puts the firewall roughly here. It's right there where the paint turns green, okay? Remember that spot.
Gotcha.
We're taking some fine-tuned measurements here, all right? Bring the measuring tape back over here, we're not done. From this clip right here, this little tab is actually what sits down inside of that hole right there. So the middle of this tab to the firewall right there is
9 inches.
We're gonna call that 8 inches because it goes behind this lip.
8 inches.
So it's 8 inches. So go forward from here, 8 inches. So we put that in the middle of the tab right there. We go forward 8 inches. Come back to where I told you to remember the mark, right? Right where the paint hit the green.
Yeah.
So we've got a little more than 2 inches that we're gonna have to clearance that firewall. So that means
We have to take some things
we're
out.
actually in really good shape because
Or not.
we can just cut that firewall, create a 2-inch band that is like a frame,
Oh, and then
push it straight back and weld it in,
Yeah.
and we'll have our 2 inches of clearance. Actually, we probably could go like 3 inches or 4 inches. Let's see what that'll do to our space in here. So if we come back from that firewall 4 inches, we're basically bringing that firewall back to here. It's going to be about right in line with the floor, right above the steering shaft. And we are going to want to use the steering wheel and steering column, but we're probably not going to use this big attachment here with the key and the light switch or whatever this is on there. We're probably going to want to raise that up so that we can get a little bit more leg room underneath the steering wheel. What do you guys think? Would a Edge CTS 3 monitor fit right in there? I've been thinking that it might.
No, it doesn't seem like that long we've had this, but we've had this for a year.
Just think about how much you've learned in that last year. A year ago,
I couldn't even eyeball sockets.
We could not have even fathomed you doing this, which is why when I said we're going to start this project, we're going to start with something that you can learn on, right?
Yeah.
The C10.
Right.
What did you say driving down the road the other night, Matt, on the way to church?
It's nice driving something that I built.
Yeah?
Oh, dangerous.
It's only dangerous if you think about whether or not you tightened everything up in the suspension.
Right. Every time we hit a pothole, I'm like, and I'm just going to be like in the cartoons when the wheels come off and it's just me holding the steering wheel. Well.
And there you have it, folks. Well, guys, you got to ask yourself a question looking at these two rigs here. Did we just ruin 2 trucks? Or did we potentially set the stage for one awesome build?
2 wrongs make a right.
Well, 2 wrongs don't make a right. But 2 rights made an airplane.